Hello, everybody, and welcome again to the Yinzer Brothers podcast. I am TJ here with my brother Tim, and we are the Yinzer Brothers. Today is the Steelers-Texans game preview. The 2-0 Steelers are going to take on the 0-2 Texans at Pittsburgh at 1 o'clock this Sunday. It should be a great game. It is the battle of the Watt brothers. What do you think about those Watt brothers? They're pretty impressive, aren't they?
Incredible genes, man. They're studs.
Yeah. Now, unfortunately, the Harrises, we did not get genes like the Watt brothers. What Tom and Rose gave us would not qualify to get us to the NFL. I mean, I don't even know if it qualified to get us to work at Sheets, to be honest with you.
I don't know. I mean, I think maybe you got a lot of the crappier genes, and I got a lot of the better genes.
Yeah, that's highly debatable. In fact, as we were talking earlier, you told me a little bit about you pulled a muscle or something today during one of your workouts or something.
Oh. Let's take a step back. I've been, for some apparent reason, the past 2 weeks, I've been pulling muscles left and right. I pulled a muscle, I guess, in my back. You ever had that muscle pull where you can't tell if it's your neck or if it's your back? It's been one of those where, like, I thought I was having a heart attack. So a couple of times, I asked the wife, I go, hey, you may get 911 here on the service line. I was a little nervous. So
well, you're getting to an age. You get pain up in the head. It could be a stroke, could be anything.
Well, in my dumb brain too, it's like, the pain goes away, and then the next day I may go down and box, knowing that you're using your back.
You are,
and I'm back to square one. It's like I'm an idiot. Yeah. So today, I'm sitting there and my daughter, every time before her naps, before her bedtime, she has to watch the same three Frozen videos. She's a big Frozen fan all the time. So pretty much know these things word for word. If it doesn't happen, we have problems.
Life of a parent. That's right.
And now my daughter's getting to the, age where she's curious about everything. So see a remote on the ground, takes her attention away, whatnot. So we grab her, get her, put her on my lap, or sitting on the floor. We're enjoying a little Frozen music. I see her look down. She sees the remote, and I go to grab it with my one hand and try to put it behind my back. And next thing I know, I felt something just right in this area, right below the boob and in the rib. I thought it was a cramp, and I froze up. I had to actually call the nanny. Like, I could go, you come now. Like I said like 2 words, come now.
You couldn't even get air in your lungs to get the words out.
When you've got like a cramp in your leg?
Oh yeah, sure.
That's what it felt like in here. And that's what I thought was happening. And I was going, it just wasn't going away. So the nanny's looking, she's on the ground. I'm like, are you okay? I'm going, I don't know. My wife's in the other room on a call. Eventually things start calming down. I'm thinking, it was just a cramp. I'll tell you what, man, it's killing me right now. Like, I took a baby aspirin just in case.
You want to keep the arteries clear. That's a good idea. So let me get this right. You pulled a muscle today reaching for the remote.
I mean, it was an athletic move to grab that remote and put it behind my back.
Tim, how the mighty have fallen.
I had to do it without her looking. I was quick. And next thing I know, I paid the I don't know what's going on.
So Tim, you are still telling me that you think you have 4 plays in the NFL.
Yeah.
Four plays. But you're pulling muscles. I mean, the last time I was with you, you pulled a muscle. Don't forget this. We were golfing, and Tim pulled his hammy reaching down for a golf ball just on the green. Do you remember that, Tim?
I can't confirm nor deny that story.
You're falling apart. I mean, you're falling apart.
Things are going downhill quick.
They are. You're falling apart. I don't understand.
I think. I mean, come on. I could take 4 knees.
I don't know. You may take a knee, pull a hammy, rip a quad. Who knows?
I'll just put.
You pulled a muscle. You pulled a muscle reaching for a remote today, Tim.
I mean, I just can put Ben's magical walking boot on and take 4. I'll be fine. I think I can hand the ball off or take 4 knees.
I don't. It's highly debatable. I don't know.
Now, if you have me do anything else, we're having issues.
See, you still got to get under center there, unless you're going to be, if you're going to be back in shotgun, and God forbid you drop that football, you could die.
Oh, I would kick it. I would kick it out of bounds.
You'd be one of those guys, right? Okay. Perhaps the Harrises, we don't have the genes that maybe the Watt brothers do. So this Sunday, 3 of the Watt brothers are going to play against each other. Again, what's kind of cool about this too is you got JJ and TJ, and they're basically playing similar positions on other sides of the ball, on each side of the ball. Actually, if you look at their stats too, they're neck and neck. Now, TJ's looking a little bit better than JJ, which is good. By the way, this is not the first time 3 brothers have played each other in the NFL. In fact, this happened last year. Tim, can you guess the family that played against each other last year in the NFL, in an NFL game?
You know the answer to this.
Oh, of course I do, or else I would even bring it up.
Guy.
Your guy.
And of course, I think we have the crappier of all 3 of the brothers.
We do. So he's talking about the Edmond brothers. Again, last year, the Steelers played the Bills, and the Steelers had Trey, Terrell, and we still have Terrell. And Trey's gone now. We got rid of Trey.
Yeah.
And the Bills had, I think, the best of the 3. Tremaine, he's fantastic.
I think the Steelers, in fantasy where you have that one guy. If you play fantasy football, you have the one guy that when you got all the good players going in the first 5 picks, round 17 comes up and he's like, "Oh yeah, give me Saquon Barkley or give me." You're like, you're an idiot. They were drafted with the 2nd pick. The only thing I can explain for the Steelers, like they thought they were drafting the good Edmonds brothers, and they just made a mistake, and they didn't want to live up to it. Be like, oh, screwed up. So we got to take this other Edmonds. That's the only thing I can think of. The only thing.
They could make a mistake because all the names sound the same. I mean, you got all the T's. I get that. I think that could be valid. So we'll see. The Watts. Hopefully, this will be a better game than the one we had last year with with all of the Edmond brothers. Regardless, it should be a great game. I like the Steelers' chances. But before we get to the game breakdown, it's time to take a peek into the Yinzer mailbag. Now, again, if you don't know what the Yinzer mailbag is, Tim and I, we take mail from the fans, you. Our heart is to please you, the fans. This is a show. It's not about us. We're not divas. We love Pittsburgh. And I think I can speak for both of us when I say this, Pittsburgh. We love you. We do. So the Yinzer mailbag is an opportunity for you to speak to us directly. Again, and just to give us some of your thoughts, maybe give us some ideas of some things to talk about on the show, or maybe some ideas about the flow. So again, if you got any questions for us, you can email us at yinzerbros@gmail.com. Again, the email address is yinzerbros@gmail.com. So let's take a look and see what's in the Yinzer mailbag this week. We got a question. It says, back to your theme. Will there be any love for Edmonds after the game-winning sack against the Denver Broncos? Tim, do you have any love for our Edmonds after the game-winning sack?
No, I mean, like I said in our last podcast, I think I could have made that sack with my pulled, I don't know what this is, man boob rib, and my hurt back, and I got no cartilage in my right knee. I think I could have made that sack myself.
I think you're right. When you look at his entire body of work for the game. It
stinks. His whole body work stinks.
He's not very good. He's not. I think – so why aren't we seeing Davis yet?
Do you want the funny answer or do you want the logical answer?
Well, I think I want to hear both. What's the funny answer?
The funny answer is Terrell Edmonds must have pictures of somebody up high in that organization.
Yeah.
The logical answer is the Steeler organization can't admit that they made a mistake drafting him in the first round. That's why he's still on the field.
Yeah. He's not a first rounder. I mean, maybe a second rounder, probably a third rounder.
No, he's a fourth round. No.
But he's smart. He's football smart. That's what the coach said. He's football smart. So I don't know.
There's a lot of smart players.
There's true. So we have another question from Mark. Mark asks this: what Steeler great receiver do you compare Claypool to? Claypool, he's a stud, obviously. And where did he go to school, Tim?
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame. He's a Notre Dame guy. I mean, every week we see him, he just takes another step in the right direction.
Let's just pump the brakes. What's Steeler great? Let's pump the brakes. Let's just pump the brakes.
So he had mentioned a few, like maybe John Stallworth.
You know who else? You know who else looked great like this his first couple of years? And next thing you know, he's out of the league. Martavius. weed Bryant. So let's just pump the brakes real quick. Let me get a season. If he's doing this all season, I'll come back. For all I know, he could turn out to be Limas Sweed. I have 20 of Limas Sweed's rookie cards up in my. I thought he was going to be the hell's bells of everything, but no, he's going to be good. You can't compare. The closest thing that I can compare him to right now, if he keeps on this projection or what, is Plexico Burress.
Yeah, they have similar size. And Plexico, I thought he was like 6'4". He's really 6'6". I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And he was, he's 230, but he doesn't have the speed of Claypool. Claypool is just, the closest thing I think we've seen to him is probably Megatron. Probably as far as his specs.
Let's pump the brakes with Megatron. I mean, come on, let's pump it.
It's interesting. I don't think he doesn't look to me like Stallworth. He's not. Swan was small. Even Juju's only like 6'1".
If there's any Steeler receiver, you have Plex is to me is the most comparable.
Yeah,
you can think of right now.
Hopefully he's smarter than Plexico Burress, because we had to remember, his brains. He actually. How many guys can say that they shot themselves with a gun?
How many guys can say they pulled a muscle on their man boob reaching the remote on their back?
That's true. It's hard to imagine 4 plays in the NFL and you're pulling muscles, reaching for remotes, keeping a remote away from your daughter who's just turned a year.
She's
just
feisty.
In July.
She's feisty. She's quick.
She's a feisty one.
Yeah.
Here's another question. Benny Snell. What's going on with Benny Snell? Will he see the field? Is he done?
No, he's not. I think Benny Snell will have a larger part in this football team before the season's over than what anybody thinks.
I think you're right, because there's no way. I don't think there's any way number 30 stays healthy.
I love Connor, but he is made of pixie sticks and glue.
He is. I don't think he's going to be healthy. I just don't think he'll make it. And he ran for 100 yards on Sunday, but 59 of that, right, or something like that, was like on one run.
Yeah, it was.
And it was like toward the end of the game. It was garbage time.
Yeah.
Again, I don't like he drags his feet, and I don't like his vision. Other than that, I think he's a great guy. Here's another good question. Have you guys seen the Fanduel commercial with James Harrison? Have you seen that commercial yet, Tim?
I've seen it.
So what are your thoughts on that?
Still got 4 plays in the NFL. Still have 4 plays.
What would you do if James Harrison gets a hold of our podcast? And what if he says, you know what, Tim, I'm going to show you what it's like to get hit even by a retired NFL football player. Tim, do you think could you take a shot from Harrison?
My 4 plays don't consist of me getting hit at all. So let's just pump the brakes there. My 4 hits, the knee, maybe a handoff, maybe just cradle myself on the ground and suck my thumb like a baby. I don't know.
What would happen if you got hit by Harrison? Do you remember a few years ago with Cleveland that the fan got on this, was running around on the field, and Harrison planted him into the ground?
I wouldn't put myself in a position to let Harrison hit me. The only way do I get a bat? Do I get anything? I don't even know a bat would work, truthfully.
I wouldn't bring a bat. You just get him angry. Have you seen his workouts? His workouts are insane.
The same thing downstairs where I'm pulling muscles left and right.
Sure. Yeah. You guys are about the same. That's right. Tim, that's right. Hey, we got a letter here from Melissa, an email from Melissa. It says this: how many times on Sunday did you assume, Tim, the winning position? And it's for those of you that don't know and you can't see, usually during the game, Tim finds his lucky position, and then, come heck or high water, he's got to get back to that position if things start to look a little dicey for the Steelers. How many times did you assume the winning position, Tim?
Now, that's like a Harris thing. that was passed down from Papu, right?
That was. Yeah, that was.
How many times did there was a lot. I went from lucky positions. I almost changed rooms with TVs. That's how bad it got. Shirt was on, shirt was off.
Oh. Your poor daughter.
She did pet me a couple times.
Dad, it's gonna be okay.
Yeah,
that's a lot of hair. Take that shirt off. It's a lot of hair.
Yeah, it wasn't. I felt she gave that look like, oh, puppy. I said, no, that's daddy. I was everywhere. I was moving quite a bit, and I think my daughter went to sleep pretty much to her nap time was about start of the third quarter. So it's tough. It's tough not being able to yell at the TV screen when you got a little baby going, upstairs, because Miss Melissa there wouldn't have been a football game for me the rest of the day.
That's true. You had been in the shed with the possum and the raccoon.
Yes.
Probably, right?
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
It's a good question. And we have another good question here, too. Who is the greatest Steeler running back of all time? Who would you put in the let's say your top one or two, maybe three?
Greatest Steeler running back of all time. I know what you're baiting.
That's a great question.
I know what you're baiting me into right here.
Do you really?
I think I do, but I don't know. We may be off just because I don't want to get thrown in with the University of Notre Dame. I'm going to say Franco Harris.
So you steered clear of the bus then, huh?
Yeah.
You still clear. It's hard to go against Franco. I mean, and guys, just so you know, there was nothing better in the 70s growing up in Pittsburgh with the last name Harris. Nothing better.
No.
In fact, I remember my first, when I was a fullback in when I played in, all through high school and stuff like that. And in 8th and 9th grade, my number was 32, just like Franco. I mean, how do you beat that? I mean, it was beautiful. I'm going to say it's hard to beat Franco because he was a complete back.
If you want to look at stats, truthfully, it's Bettis. I mean,
it is Bettis.
Yeah.
It is Bettis. I think, I've always told you, what I thought was great about Bettis, it wasn't just his size, it was his little feet. He wore a size 9. So you had this hulking guy with these quick little feet.
Mm-hmm.
He was a freak. He reminded me a little bit of Ironhead Hayward.
Yeah.
Cam Hayward's dad, just big and just getting things done. So I think that those are good questions. So that's all the time we have today for the Yinzer Mailbag. Again, if you've got any questions or comments about our podcast, you can email us at yinzerbros@gmail.com, and we'll try to get to your questions. We'll try to get them on the show. It'll be great. Now let's shift gears and let's talk a little bit about the Steelers and the Texans. Steelers 2-0, looking good, but obviously we've got some room to grow.
Mm-hmm.
The Texans 0-2. But that doesn't tell the whole story because look at who they played the first 2 weeks of the year. The Chiefs and the Ravens, arguably the two best teams right now in football.
Mm-hmm.
So, when you talk about the Texans offense, you have to start with Deshaun Watson.
Mm-hmm.
You got the big extension. I think he's a great quarterback. I think he's a great football player.
Yeah.
And the worst thing you could do to a great quarterback is to ship away his number one weapon, which they did. They got rid of DeAndre Hopkins. Don't know why. Traded him to the Cards for what did they get for him? Like Gatorade? What did they get for him?
They got David Johnson, which is, he was a good running back at one point with Arizona. He's kind of down last year. I'm beginning to think, you remember what I said about Jason Garrett somehow having pictures, I have no idea how he kept his job. I'm beginning to think Bill O'Brien, he's an idiot. I don't get how he has a job. I don't.
Hopkins is special.
You don't
like guys like him go away, and they have nothing to replace him. I mean,
Brandon Cooks is a pretty good receiver.
But he's not Hopkins. Though.
He's not Hopkins. He's a good, to me, he's a good 2. And the other gentleman from, I believe, is from Notre Dame, made of paper mache and glass. Yeah, Fuller. Yeah, he's good when he's on the field for 3/4 of the year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about three quarters in general, not like 3/4 of the year. 3/4 in general.
So let's talk about the Texans offense. What are some of your initial thoughts about their offense?
I mean, to me, it's Deshaun Watson. You got to contain him. If you let him go and you let him be Superman, you're going to be in trouble. So I think first things first, you got to stop the run. Stop the run. You're kind of making them one-dimensional, and then you got to.
They don't have a great line. We know that.
No,
last week against the Ravens, they gave up 4 sacks, 13 QB hits. So they just don't have. Now the Ravens have a great defense, but they're not. I don't think they have a great line.
Yeah, to me, it's you stop that run, and you gotta keep your rush lanes. I don't think this game is much of getting to all the time Deshaun Watson, but you want to contain him. You want to keep him in the pocket. You don't want him to get loose outside the pocket. So you got to kind of be nervous. You're not be nervous, but you you got to make sure those outside guys, Bud and TJ, are actually containing on the outside, because once he gets outside that pocket, you're going to be in a world of hurting.
You can. I think the Steelers match up very well against Deshaun. They match up very well against running quarterbacks because, you got the outside, you got the outside pressure, and then you got a good push in the middle. I get more impressed every week I watch Alu. He's a stud coming up the middle.
Yeah. I think a lot of people are nervous when you lost their nose tackle to Philly. And he's fantastic. Don't get me wrong. I don't think he's played for Philly. I think he's been kind of hurt, but he was great. I was very nervous about losing him, but Alualu's taken his spot and he's been. I think he's 33, and I think he's having the best year of his career. I mean,
I think you're right. I think right now, I think you can argue that he's probably the best nose tackle right now in football. I mean, I don't know anybody's better than him.
He is disruptive, man.
Yeah, he's amazing. So he should do well. Again, we know that the offensive line for the Texans isn't that great. Even their running attack's not that great. They got Johnson from the Cards. He had 11 carries last week for 34 yards. So I think the Steelers, they've played the last 2 weeks. They've played running backs really tough. Yep. Haven't given up a 100-yarder yet. So I think they'll be fine. And again, I like our defense matching up against their weapons. They just don't have a lot of weapons.
I get nervous with Brandon Cooks because my biggest fear is Deshaun Watson getting a little bit of time outside the pocket and Cooks kind of finding those holes in that zone defense. That gets me a little nervous because, he's not chop liver. He's pretty good. But they don't, like I said, they don't have a ton of weapons to kind of strike fear into your heart.
Yeah, I agree. So let's flop to the other side of the ball. When you look at the defense, anytime you talk about the Texans defense, you got to talk about J.J. Watt. Mm-hmm. He's absolutely amazing. Just last week, he had 2 sacks, 5 QB hurries. He's a stud. He's just a stud.
He is, and what gets me nervous is, I'm saying nervous, but he's not just in one place. They move him everywhere. So
they do.
I'm kind of hoping that he's not locked up against that Chooks a lot on that left side. But Chooks played good last week, so I don't know, but they don't have a bad defense. Their defense is it's half decent. It's not crap, but it's not. Anytime you got a J.J. Watt, your defense is not going to be absolutely brutal.
No, you're right. You're right. If you look at the last few weeks, their defense didn't look spectacular, but again, they're playing against, the Chiefs and they're playing against the Ravens. So I don't know what you say about that. Yeah. So their D-backs on paper don't look very good, but what do you do with that?
I think you're playing. They made those two maybe the 2 highest scoring offenses in the league. And they're 2. And I don't know if you get a good read about them because you got KC was throwing the ball, but you have Baltimore that kind of ran it down their throat. So you don't know which way they're weak, if they're weak, or if it's just those 2 teams.
I agree. I think it's going to be interesting. It'll be a good matchup. I think, too, TJ or JJ Watt's going to play inspired because he's got 2 brothers on the other side of the ball. So I think it's going to be a good game. But I do think I like what the Steelers are doing. I think they'll be able to run the ball. Baltimore was able to run the ball, so I think we should be able to run the ball. Again, if Connor puts his head up, and I'd love to see, Benny, if Benny can not put the ball on the ground, that would be great. Mm-hmm. So we'll see what that matchup looks like. So do the Texans, do they make you nervous at all?
In my heart, I say no, but in my head, something's telling me yes. I don't think they're as bad as their 0-2 record leads to believe. So I've seen the song and dance. I do not have warm and fuzzy feelings about this game.
So just so you guys know, if you don't know this about Tim does like to live in his fears sometimes. He's waiting for the other shoe drop kind of guy.
Yeah.
Steelers could be up by about 40 points and he'll still be like, yeah, there's a chance we could lose this thing.
It could be the throbbing pain in this area and underneath my chest right now. But I do not. This is lining up as the typical.
The Tomlin special?
The Tomlin special game.
Yeah, Tim, he doesn't like the Tomlin special. So the Texans, I'm with you. I think they could they could be inspired, but I don't think they have enough. So let's flop over to the other side of the ball. Let's to the other team. Let's look at the Steelers a little bit.
Yep.
Let's take a look at their offense.
Yep.
We've got some good news. We know DeCastro is back. Hopefully he'll be playing.
I did see one clip of him in practice early in the week, and I'm thinking he fell down or slipped, but I thought he fell down. I thought his knee just collapsed, and I go, "Oh my God!" But I'm hoping. I think that was like Tuesday, so I haven't heard anything since. So I think he's okay.
He was at full participant in practice, so he's today. So that's a good thing. Now we do have a few things for concern. Juju's knees kind of bugging him a little bit.
Hasn't practiced all week, so tomorrow's gonna be a magical day. Do I think that hurts him that much?
I don't know.
To me, if that's the case, you're going to see a lot more number 11.
You will.
And you'll get your wish. He could either be Tim could either be swallowing more words, swallowing more crow, or I could say, remember when I said lime is sweet? That it could happen. It could come out of my mouth. But if Juju doesn't play, I think he's going to be the guy starting on the opposite side.
Claypool looks different. He takes the ball, he plucks the ball out of the air. There's not a doubt. Like when he catches the ball, there's not like, hey, he may drop it. There's like no doubt. It's like, I'm going to catch the ball anywhere. What am I going to do with it? And this is the thing to me that I really enjoy, especially when you see it in slow motion. They show it again. The look on the cornerbacks and the safeties, the look in their eyes is like, crud, what are we going to do with this guy? Because he's so overpowering with his size, his strength, and his speed.
And I will say this, I think what's impressive too about him, I mean, he's only getting 3 or 4 balls a game, but he's making the most of all of his opportunities.
Every ball that goes after him, he sucks it down, man. It's just he's unbelievable. I wish well, that's another thing. So let's talk about running the ball. Now, I believe obviously we're going to see Connor. He's going to be the guy. Unless something crazy happens. Do you think we're going to see a little bit of Benny in the game?
I do, but I think we're going to see a lot more. And from what I've been hearing and seeing, I think we're actually going to see some of that rookie McFarland, because he's been running with the ones a lot this week during practice. So I think this may be a game you actually see him get a little bit of playing time and see what he can kind of do, in some open field, which I'm kind of hoping we see that a little bit. I just want to see that dimension. If you got somebody to come out of the backfield to bring some juice, because just a different thing that the Steelers haven't had in a long time. I think it could make another dimension to this offense that nobody's even thinking about.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think you're right. So who is your when you look at the offense, who's your offensive player of the game for the Steelers?
Anybody blocking J.J. Watt. To me, wow, man. Like I said, I told you I was going to keep beating the tight end drums until it happens. I'm going to go away from that. I'm going to say it's Claypool.
Yeah.
I think if Juju is down, if Juju plays, I'm going to look for those tight ends again. If Juju's not playing, I'm going to look at Claypool because I think he's going to be the guy that could potentially have a big game.
So I'm going to go out on a limb here. You ready for this?
If you say Ben, you get Claypool too?
No. But I'm going to – this is a different prediction. Claypool, Offensive Rookie of the Year, NFL.
It's going to be tough, man. It's tough to beat out those quarterbacks, and Burrow's playing pretty well, man.
It is. But mark my words, because he's just going to get better. He's going to get more touches as it goes, man. And he's electric.
I might just bury my head in the sand right now if he wins.
And he's a second rounder. People, this is where you forget. You think, well, it's pretty good for a first rounder. He's a second rounder.
Here's the thing you're not thinking about. I know he's a second rounder, but it's really looking like this draft class so far after 2 games. Their draft class, you're talking him in the second round, the outside back in the third round looks pretty good. And I think the steal of that whole entire draft is going to be that rookie guard because he looks like a man-child. I think you got him, and I'm kind of waiting to see what McFarland's like because to me, seeing what I saw from him in college, he's got a little Camaro in him. He does. The fast. So this could be a special draft class.
He does. It could be. You're right. I like it. So, okay. So that's the offense. My offensive player of the game, I think I'm going to go away from Claypool. I'm going to go to the guy that chucks the ball to him. I think Ben, this is a breakout game for Ben. I think things start to settle down. I think he's accurate. I'm thinking maybe 3-4 touchdowns out of Ben this week.
Where would you feel comfortable with his passing attempts?
I'm going to say he's going to be at about under 30.
I hope so, because if he's over
Under
30,
yeah,
we're going to be
under
in for
30.
we're going to be in for a dogfight if he's over 30.
I think he'll be under 30 this week, and I think they'll if they can establish. I think they should be able to establish a running game because I don't think once you get away from JJ, I don't think the rest of the defensive line is that good.
You almost have to establish a run because if you are sitting back and throwing the ball 35, 40 times, you do not want he's gonna be feasting, man.
And he could break Ben in half.
See, why do you even put that juju in the atmosphere? Don't say
fine.
that. If I have to,
TJ will come run out, kick his butt. It'll be fine.
If I have to put that Mason helmet on, this may be the last podcast we have because I don't know if I can handle it for the year.
It could be. You're right. So let's talk a little bit about the Steeler defense now. Now the defense is pretty healthy. We match up, I think, pretty well. I think the Steelers always play running quarterbacks very well. Even last year when we played the Ravens, I think they did a great job. We should have won that first game against the Ravens. Mm-hmm. And, we had Wahoo QBing for us. So what are your thoughts about the defense?
When you speak of last year with Lamar Jackson, I think Deshaun Watson are two different quarterbacks. I think Deshaun Watson can beat you with his arm, though.
He can.
Unlike Lamar Jackson, which I think, time will tell with that. TJ, I don't get warm and fuzzy feelings about this game with the defense. I just don't. I saw Driscoll just carve them up like it's Thanksgiving dinner. Mm-hmm. It gets me nervous. I don't know.
Now sometimes when you get a new QB, you don't know anything about him, so they didn't prepare anything for him at all. Now again, and they had a good game plan, Denver did, but they had a spy too. Now there's tape now, so every defense has a weakness.
But to me, I don't think our defensive backs are going to be as challenged if they had like this week, just because they're going to have to plaster their receivers. Mm-hmm. I like Nelson. I think he'll be fine. Joe Hayden gets me a little nervous, man. When you get into that plaster and he has to cover for more than, 7 seconds or something like that, you could be in trouble, man. And I don't trust Terrell Edmonds to cover grass, let alone I just don't. So I'm hoping you see some more nickel dime with maybe mm-hmm. Cam Sutton in there because I trust him covering a little bit more. I don't know. I'm hoping they cover well, but I think too, if they're running the dime nickel, you're not going to see a lot of Vince Williams on the field, so you're going to be substantial to the run. So I don't know. There's something weird in my gut about this game, and I'll tell you later on why I feel that probably during our predictions.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think you're right with. I think we'll just see what Watson does and stuff like that. Again, I'm not worried about necessarily the running attack, but I have to bring this up. Mm-hmm. Where has Tuitt been?
I thought you were saying something about Chickalo, and I was about to just
no. Where's Tuitt been?
I thought he was pretty good the first game.
So ready for this? These are Tuitt's stats mm-hmm. so far for the year. He's got 2 tackles on the year. Now, just to give you an idea, guess who's got 1 more tackle than he does on the year? I'll give you a hint.
Anthony Chickalo?
No. He graduated from Notre Dame last year, and he was our 2nd-round pick. Claypool on special teams has 3 solo tackles. 3. And Tuitt's got 2.
Do you have a stat on Cam?
Cam has like 4 or 5.
I mean, I get it, but I mean, in this defense, are those guys, are they expected to get that many tackles, or are they expected to kind of take up space?
The Tuitt that I remember before he got hurt was an animal. So he got the money. I want to see a little bit more production from him. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not like he's got to keep 2 guys squeaky clean like, Bush and Williams and those guys. Yeah. Get in there, stop up the middle. Alu, as I forget how many, he's got like 5 or 6. He's out there. Again, who's leading our team in tackles is Bush. Guess who number 2 is?
Go ahead. I know exactly who you're going to say.
It's Hinton.
It's Hilton?
It's not Edmonds. Yeah,
I thought it was Edmonds.
No, it's not Edmonds. No, that's not. Hey, when your safety's way back there, I mean, obviously, they're coming up and giving support.
Hilton he run blitzes or pass blitzes every 3 downs.
But that's his role. He does great.
Oh, I agree. He's great at it.
Yeah. Here's another stat. Steelers have 3 interceptions on the year, only one by a D-back. Can you name the other 2 guys with the interceptions?
You have Cam Hayward.
Uh-huh.
You have TJ Watt.
You do. You got a linebacker and a defensive lineman. Hey, I'll take the takeaways.
Yeah.
Kind of unique, though. I think, that ball's probably going to go sitting on Hayward's mantle. How many INTs do you think he has? He
has way more INTs than I do. Right?
Probably. And you were a safety in high school.
Oh, I had a couple of I had some in high school. I had some spectacular ones in high school.
It's funny. The older Tim gets, the greater he was.
I mean, we can add the ones in the Turkey Bowl, too. I had a lot of those.
We could. The Turkey Bowl. Yeah, that's true. We could.
I wouldn't last.
When's the last time you played in a Turkey Bowl? By the way, if you don't know what a Turkey Bowl is, that is the tackle football game that you play. I mean, sometimes we play flag too, that you play every Thanksgiving Day. When is the last time you suited up for a Turkey Bowl?
Oh, it's been a long time. I'm maybe 15 years ago.
So it's been 15 years since you played a game on Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah.
With just normal, everyday people. But you've got 4 plays in you with NFL players.
It's like riding a bike, baby. It's like riding a bike.
I think what we should do this year, just to test your theory out, I think you should just find a random tackle Turkey Bowl and just see what you got.
You'd have to convince my wife.
I would just make sure your deductible's paid up. What position would you play? Because you can't throw anymore.
Oh, I'd be as I can recall, one of the last Turkey Bowls I played in, you were in the Turkey Bowl.
I was.
And I remember I was playing a lot more quarterback and a lot more in the defensive back, and you were up front playing patty cake with all the fat guys talking about.
I was.
So I'd probably be playing patty cake with the fat guys talking about what we're eating later.
Probably, because you can't throw. You got a bad shoulder. You can't run. You got a bad knee. Can you lift your hands over your head to catch a football?
With the pulled muscle right now, I don't want to risk that. But I will say this: if I had to, and we had an experiment, I'd want to save that right knee for that 4 good plays in the NFL, because we're going all out. Those 4.
I think we should do a Turkey Bowl experiment this year. I think we should just check it out and just see what you got in you. So who is your Steeler defensive player of the game?
My Steeler defensive player of the game is Terrell. No, I'm just kidding with that. My Steeler defensive player of the game is going to be – I'm going to go with the obvious. It's TJ Watt. I think he's going to have 2 or 3 sacks.
He'll be inspired. He's going to be inspired. And I didn't realize this. He's the baby Watt too. He's the baby brother of the 2.
He is climbing up the man crush.
He is
the man crush stratosphere for old Timoteo over here.
Yeah, I heard a great story today when they were talking about when he first came to the Steelers and they called him Baby Watt. He said, "Yeah, we did that for like about 3 weeks." And then we realized we need to stop because he's a man child. Yeah. So I'm going to go with you. I believe it's going to be TJ. Or, maybe Alu too. I think that pressure up the middle could be pretty impressive. But it's hard to go against TJ. He'll be inspired. So what is your prediction as far as the score is concerned for the Steelers and the Texans?
Let me give you a couple stats here.
Okay.
Last time the Steeler team started 3-0. What year was that, my friend?
1978.
No, you're close.
79. Oh, 79, yeah.
Last time the Steelers started 4-0. What year
78.
was that?
78.
So my prediction is this. 23-21. Chris Boswell misses a game-winning kick. The Steelers lose to the Texans.
Oh, you're a scrub. You're a scrub.
I feel it. I feel Boz deep in my heart. That could be the pulled muscle. I don't know. I just feel something in my gut that Chris Boswell is going to cost us this game.
So my prediction is 31-17 Pittsburgh. I think Ben gets at least 3, maybe 4.
Yeah.
Maybe we run one in and Boz He gets a field goal for us.
Again, there's a pain in my gut right now. And the vision is Chris Boswell. I'm hoping this isn't the start of
Could be. I don't know.
something bad going the rest of this season.
It could be. I don't know. He struggled a little bit. All right. Well, those are the predictions. That's us. That's what you get everything from us. Again, don't forget, if you got any questions or comments, you can always email us at yinzerbros@gmail.com. We'll try to get back to everybody's email. We'll try to answer all your questions. Again, if you like what you hear, please like our page, subscribe to our channel, and download our podcast. You can download our podcast on Apple or Spotify or any place where you download great podcasts. If there's a great podcast there, we're there.
It's everywhere. It is everywhere.
We're a nationally driven podcast. That means we have people listening to us from all over the place, all over the nation, everywhere.
Can I also give a shout out to Producer T?
Yes.
I want to give a shout out to Producer T that only took him a week and a half to get the website back up.
That's right.
Thank you, Producer T.
That's right. So Producer T, that's Tyler Harris. That'd be his nephew, my son.
Yes.
And basically he does all of the technical slave labor for us because we don't know what we're doing with half this stuff.
No, not
so
at all.
We don't pay him anything other than food and stuff like that. But, it is what it is. So we're grateful for that. You have children to do things you don't want to do yourself. So that's where Tyler is. We appreciate that. Mm-hmm. Again, with the podcast, if you like what you hear, please spread the word with others. Spread the love. Again, I am TJ. I'm here with my brother Tim, and we together are the Yinzer Brothers. We can't wait for the game on Sunday. The Yinzer Brothers are out. Have a great week, Pittsburgh.